in your studying and sort of things, go ahead and give me a, is David going to end up reviewing, like, both sort of apartment buildings, where these two individuals would be staying in the same night, or is he just going to go after one person first?
He's going to start with one person because he wants to check out their apartment, check out a proper route to take their unconscious body back to his place, that sort of thing. But if he can get them both in tonight, he will.
Alright, we'll go ahead and I'll pick whichever one you want to go first.
Let's say the dispatcher first.
Alright, John Worthing. Say David has a strong suspicion is not home at all in a, small apartment building, we'll say 6 stories, lives on the 3rd floor. There are occupants who have their lights on, but his room is not one of them. Middle class building here. No bars on the windows, which is nice. Easily accessible fire escapes. And staircases leading up to the various floors. No elevator here. But, you know, not every building is to have an elevator. This one obviously isn't cripple friendly. But then again, this is the world of darkness. Nothing's crippled friendly. Go ahead and give me a perception plus larceny at difficulty 6.
And would trained observer apply here?
Sure. Two successes then?
That it is.
Alright. No cameras. Not that David is surprised about the fact that there are no cameras. Building itself has seen, you know, better days, but it's definitely also seen worse days as well. The process of renovation. Seeing the multiple staircases as well as the fire escape itself, which ends up getting cast in a bit of shadow. And the fact that there are no cameras, and sort of by studying and analyzing the doors, okay, Worthing has the simple knob lock as well as a deadbolt as well, and he even has a chain to go along with that too. That's nothing that David could not pick. It'd be a standard difficulty type thing from him. The Nosferatu is guessing. He can always attempt to break in through the windows, since those are less secure. And just, the only concern is, how the hell is he gonna, you know, without breaking the window, how is he gonna manage to get the damn, the latch to flip from the other side? Unless, you know...
He'd have to be extremely precise with an extremely well-folded piece of stiff wire.
Yes, it would definitely be easier for him to just go through the damn door. And, judging by the looks of things, unless he gets extremely unlucky, which David reasons has happened to him before in the past, but it's not something you would exactly count on happening or prepare for, he should be able to, if the gentleman is home, and is home alone, to get in through the door. He knows that he could snap a chain, too, if Worthing ends up being home, and, secure the body through one means or another, and make his escape into shadow. And with all the time he's spreading through in this night, he can work out a ways by which he can stay steeped in shadow his entire time back to his haven.
Perfect.
That sort of research and pathways takes, you know, hours of preparation and planning as he, you know, sort of looks around and worms back through the alleyways and perhaps dipping into a sewer itself just to make sure that he's not spotted. But I don't know how David currently feels about the sewers.
I mean, he'll try to avoid them if he can, but,
David thinks he can, yeah.
Yeah. And I assume that takes up enough of my night that I won't be able to give a spotted place the same treatment if I try and do it tonight again.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and say, you know, David, David's got eternity, right?
Kinda. Well, with that done, he's going to see if he can sneak into a store where they have some sort of like a sports duffel bag large enough to fit a person in.
David could certainly do that. Naturally, there would be some suspicion for the affair. You can go ahead and try to make a dexterity plus stealth check at difficulty 6 to make sure he stays out of range or sight of any cameras overlooking the door. Because obviously no one's going to see him. David...
Fuck.
David thinks he notices being captured. You know, he doesn't get captured by a camera. Not sure, but it's fucking Nosferatu. It's not like anyone's gonna be able to see him anyway. He can easily go in and take the damn bag.
Anyway, he'll take the bag and try to leave a little bit of cash somewhere that it'll be found to pay for the bag he took.
Alright. So go ahead and have, for funsies, another dexterity plus stealth check. Maybe a bell jingle or something, or maybe a scuff mark. David manages to get out of the store without notice.
Alright, about what time is it?
We'll go ahead and say 3 in the morning.
Alright, well, he'll probably want to feed once and then head on into sleep.
Okay. You can go ahead and make your respective roll at difficulty 3. That is easily success.
And that's David's night.
Okay. Byron, for his part, finds himself sitting outside the club. 4 in the morning, currently now. And he has not spotted... What's up?
Oh, he has not spotted. Okay.
Yeah. He has not spotted Edward.
All right, I was going to say if he was sitting out there that long, he needs to make an impatience roll anyway. But
I was giving perhaps Byron the benefit of the doubt there. Walking outside and standing strong and confident, like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do with him. I'm totally gonna fuck him up. And then he starts remembering how bored he was during like the computer classes and going, oh god.
Right. Yeah. If
I would say if you want him to keep waiting, we would definitely handle the impatient situation.
Yeah, I was going to. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Byron will be disappointed. Yeah, I don't even think he'll stick around till 4 because the bar closes. If it's like other bars, it closes at 2 o'clock. I don't know, maybe 3 o'clock in New York. I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Certainly it wouldn't be open, but as to Byron's knowledge, he has not walked out.
Right. Yeah, in that case, he, I guess, is going to, guess he's going to go, and he's going to be a little uncomfortable about it. So he's definitely going to call up David when he gets back to Astoria at, say, 4 o'clock. He's going to leave, 3:15.
All right, that sounds perfectly fine to me. Ring, ring, motherfucker.
Hello.
Hey, David, this is Byron. I think I am going to need your help with this contact at City Hall. I ran into a little snag, perhaps.
What kind of snag, Byron?
Well, I made contact with him, and I tried to... you've seen me use my presence power, my awe, making people love me power, that thing.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've seen it work, but...
Well, in this case, it should have worked. It felt like it went off without a hitch. But this guy resisted it, which means he knew what was happening. So I was going to try to waylay him as he left the establishment, but I didn't see him leave. So I think, and we need to get that memory out of his head. I was going to try to grab him and change his memory around a bit, but yeah, I might need some help in staking that place out and not scaring him off, so to speak.
So basically you just want me to quietly watch your back?
Well, I was thinking of going back there probably tomorrow night. He may or may not show up then. Heck, he seemed pretty nervous as I was leaving, so he might not show back up, but I don't know. I'll have to think about it, but
I know that I had a problem with my current ghoul running when I was trying to acquire him. But yeah, I'll help you out.
yeah, I just don't know how much he knows about it. He knew something was happening. That is certain. I just don't. I'm a little wary. I didn't want to try anything while I was in the club because I didn't want to risk making a scene if anything else failed. Because who knows why it failed to begin with. But yeah, like someone at least to watch the back. Because like I said, I did not see him leave.
Well, I mean, if you end up having to make a scene, you could always just pretend that you were a businessman trying to arrange a discreet encounter.
I'm not sure that I follow.
Are you saying that in character or out?
Actually, both. Byron is not sure what you mean by trying to, as a businessman, trying to, because that's exactly what he's trying to do, so he's confused.
Back when I used to play the politics game, I know that a lot of people would go into those sorts of bars to try to arrange a little encounter in the bathroom, if you know what I mean. I mean, it would be certainly embarrassing to pretend that that's what you were doing, but it'd throw off any other suspicion.
Oh, I see. We'll chalk that up to last resort, I suppose. I was trying to work it with a little bit more finesse, but if it comes down to it, that's the way it's going to have to be.
Anyway, yeah, I'll watch your back. I'm mostly just scoping out additional targets right now.
Sounds good. How
Do
does...
you want an update on those?
Oh, sure. How's it going with that?
Right, well, the good detective Farnsworth has directed me to two other possible candidates, a senior dispatcher at the 114th and a promising-looking beat cop.
Well, that sounds good. Definitely the dispatcher would be extremely useful, I would think. At least,
Absolutely. And the beat cop could be really useful for patrols past certain areas. I think between the three of them, we might begin to get back what we had under Vargas.
Yeah, and I wonder, was it you or Marcus that this is out of character, that met? I'm trying to remember his name. The Anarch, Wiley, I guess is his name.
It was David.
Okay, it's like, so. What did Duke Wiley have to say about getting our guy back in charge of the precinct? I just can't remember.
He said that he wasn't interested in Astoria, that they were more interested in the big picture. I don't know that he cares. Or he might, and he was just trying to play it cool.
Oh, I just meant that, did he say that he would allow us to get our guy back in charge, or to just say he's taking a hands-off approach?
He didn't say one way or the other.
Okay. I was just wondering, is one of the best ways to get what we had under Vargas back is to get, keep want to say Farnsworth, because I never, to get your guy in charge of the precinct.
Yeah, but I don't think that he's a senior enough individual to get that kind of title.
Gotcha.
Which is fine. Having someone in homicide rather than having someone overseeing homicide could actually be terribly useful.
Gotcha.
I think the trick at this point is mostly playing it by ear, consolidating, and picking the right people for the right role that we want them to fill.
No, I think there's a lot of wisdom in getting more than one person, because when we lost Vargas so suddenly, that really hit us hard. But any one of these people having an accident wouldn't hurt us too horribly.
Especially since they're ghouls now. They're a lot less fragile than Vargas was.
That too. Oh well, thanks.
In retrospect, I should have at least offered it to him.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about the relationship. The choice to ghoul someone, especially a friend, I think is very difficult. It very much changes the relationship.
Still, feels like I should have at least offered, you know. We might still have all of our security intact if I did.
There is that, but there's no sense thinking about that now, I guess. Just live and learn, or not, whatever, and learn.
Yeah, I think we've learned our lesson on that one. Right.
Anyway.
I'll meet you first thing at the estates tomorrow.
I've got a thing I need to take care of. I'm looking into actually learning how to use that demon box computer contraption. But I can meet you there, say at quarter till midnight or so, give or take.
Sure, that'll give me time to hunt, I guess. You know, I could show you how to use a computer. It's not that tricky. I mean, you know how to use a radio, right?
Yeah, there aren't very many dials on the computer I have, though.
It's only a little bit more complicated than that. It's like a radio mixed with an electronic typewriter.
Huh. Well, I'll keep that in mind. And out of character, I thought that we had to take classes for all those knowledge things.
We might have to. I'm just saying David's offering.
Right.
It might end up being a situation where it's like, God damn it, I don't know how to explain this to you. Flip the table.
I don't think David wants to spend like so much of his time like beginning the process of trying to explain basic computer mechanics to Byron.
Right, David's thinking it would just be a quick thing, like, you know, you press this button, you press that, what button, bada bing, bada boom. What the fuck do you mean you don't know how to turn it on?
Yeah, have you ever done, I'm sure you have, most people have, done tech support for like an older aunt or grandmother or something?
Absolutely, but David hasn't.
Well, tell you what, Byron will say, well, sure, you can show me a few things. I did have a few questions about the last class, and maybe when you show up I can ask you a few questions, but probably not tomorrow, because I really would like to get this Edward thing sorted out as quickly as possible.
Right. Alright, well, see you tomorrow. Click.
Yep, click. And with that, Byron, what is it, around 4-ish or so, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah, he'll try to ease his mind, watch the news or read the newspaper or do something, and then head in.
Byron's too impatient to have a care or concern in the world, right? Right.
Yeah, I mean, he's nervous for a second, but then, he convinces himself, I'm sure everything's okay. Nothing could possibly go wrong.
All right.
That's a really healthy attitude to have in the world of darkness.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, he's not as bad as he was, though. I mean, at the first session, he probably would have ignored this entirely. But at this point, he actually wants it sorted out because every time there's a loose end, it tends to, I don't know, burn down his house. So he's kind of got some issues.
Just for a wild hypothetical example.
Exactly.
That crazy motherfucker Jermaine. He might have tried to burn me down. Rude bastard. Are you kidding me? It wasn't Jermaine. It was a Jermaine lookalike, which is just as rude.
I mean, if you're gonna burn someone down, you should at least have the decency to do it to their face.
That's right. What kind of civilization are we living in? What sort of barbaristic antics take place here? Barbaristic? Why couldn't I have just said barbaric? Whatever. Making this shit up is the world of darkness. Of course, Marcus, after an entire night and morning of fun and games, I assume, eases himself back to his new haven in a completely drunken stupor.
Yep. This is probably the most drunk he's been in a long time.
Sing us the song.
Sing the one song that you always do.
Sure, he ended up getting lost in a reverie of something beautiful, like, oh god, you guys should have seen this. It was a custom built clock, 18th. You can't even get those all back. You guys don't even know. You don't even know.
The bar had good business from Marcus that night.
Let's see how much good business, might have been had. Let's go ahead and have a charisma plus performance at difficulty, well, with the crazy shit you're seeing, difficulty 7. Oh yeah, 4 successes. Get fucked, everyone.
Even drunk.
And seeing shit that's not there. Marcus, puts up one hell of a jamming session. And, great business has had. In the club. It's going down.
He's not going to remember any of this. Well, if he does, it's all going to be blurry.
And Sean, of course, with Joseph is engaging in a furtive, crazy Malkavian shit, right?
Right.
Alright. After crazy Malkavian shit, does Joseph attempt to, to ease into his bed and sleep?
Well, I don't think he wants to fade in this state, so yeah.
Okay. We're going in the night here, and because we've been going on for 2.5 hours, go ahead and take a break for a few minutes, guys, if you need to, or if you don't, you can entertain the chat.
Yeah, my
Hi,
dinner's
Chad.
not ready yet, so I'll be taking my break later.
But as I was writing earlier in the chat, Sean, you can weaponize ghosts in the New World of Darkness.
Yeah.
You can weaponize ghosts in the old world of darkness.
I mean, I was just talking about fetters and fetches and all that crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So
just sort of... I know that there's a lot of stuff in the New World of Darkness, but the rules are so different that it's
it's like a whole new game.
No, but I mean, using necromancy or even just hiding one of those, or all of those skulls underneath someone's haven, it's a good strategy.
Yeah, the two problems with that is she now knows Joseph, so that would probably end badly because she would probably tell, and necromancy. Well, I gotta get in contact with the Giovanni for that, and that's not gonna happen.
You guys do know there's only like maybe one Giovanni in the entire city, right?
One or something like that. We don't know.
Yeah, he hasn't.
I mean, to
Grimith
hold on to,
No. Grimith actually put estimated kindred numbers at the top upper right-hand corner of every single map.
Yeah, 1 to 4.
and I'm thinking to hold on to LaGuardia, sorry, JFK, that'd be something more like 4 than 1.
They could easily do it with 1. No one's gonna call them on it. Because of the fucking Giovanni, they can just use, other means to defend themselves.
Yeah, that said, it really doesn't matter whether it's 1 or 4. It's still not going to be able to get in contact with them.
They're busy, man.
They're doing shit with all their necrophilia or necromancy, whatever.
For
Listen,
everyone in
we're busy violating the very veil between life and death. Can you, wait 5 minutes?
For anyone in the chat who's wondering why Leslie Cutter is stuck on the map, it's just a picture that says that's where we found her.
Yeah, I think it's just a token for the warehouse, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, like Rikers Island just has Carter Vanderweyden.
And so does Manhattan.
That's his law offices, I think.
Yes, it is.
Strangely enough, you really can't find any place that has, Marlena territory. And you also notice that the Tremere don't have that many people left in Manhattan. Where once all of Manhattan from the top to the bottom was Tremere. Now there's 2 places or 3.
But of course, the ones in Steinway are still there. Bastards.
Yeah, those assholes are still here.
Also,
Fucking
keep in mind, a lot of those Tremere that went missing, or that are currently missing, aren't necessarily dead, and we don't know how long their torpors are going to last.
But they can't really claim territory anymore, and they can't really defend themselves.
Right, but I'm just saying the Tremere could suddenly start getting reinforcements in a couple weeks. And by
They would've gotten
reinforcements, I mean the people they already had.
If I'm gonna be honest,
in their territory.
I'm going to be honest about this. I'm pretty sure most Tremere have humanities that are equal to ours or less. So they're probably going to be out for quite a while. I mean, I'm pretty sure the imp himself, who's in Torpor, is probably,
Oh yeah, he's going to be in there until, the next millennium, for fuck's sake. Good riddance.
I mean, I think he's probably got a humanity of at least 4. At minimum.
Well, unless David wants to help.
He doesn't.
Also, he could be on a path, so he might be up earlier. You don't know. He's old enough to be on a path.
I think there's only one path that the Camarilla accepts, and is that the path of Humanitas?
Actually, the Camarilla accepts a few different paths, as long as you follow their laws.
I don't care. This is the bullshit that a lot of people didn't like about the old World of Darkness.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a different morality system than everyone else. So that means I can murder and rape people all I want. What the
It's
fuck?
like, what? Fuck you! Yeah,
Fuck
not
your
only
shit.
can I kill and murder, not only can I murder and rape all I want, I get penalized if I don't. Problem, storyteller?
I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting, but it's only interesting for, if everyone in the group follows that.
Yeah, that's why I think it actually mentions you should not let them start on a path.
If you
But
put your mouse cursor just over the left-hand side of the Queen's map, you can find tokens.
yes, I've known that for a very long time.
Found
That
Dominic Gressman.
that's where I got Jermaine from. But he hit him.
Sebastian LaCroix is down here in Battery Park. That smug asshole. There's actually quite a few Malkavians running around Queens. I mean, I think you'd want to get to know the guy in, like, what is it, Woodguard or Woodgate?
Yeah, what I was saying when I was talking about that, he said pretty much everyone besides me and Vanderwayden are fishmouths.
Or non-functioning Malkavians.
Yeah, some kind of really batshit milk.
There's also another thing I liked in New World of Darkness, the Malkavians in that, which they're not a clan. They just have like something really, really weird. Oh god, now I remember something they do in New World of Darkness. They did 2 different kinds of Malkavians.
3,
There's a third
counting
one?
the translation guide.
No, yeah.
Oh, and don't forget the ones that are just infected with Malkav's disease.
That's what
Mind
I'm talking about.
They actually say in the game that only one of these is correct, but it's up to the storyteller which one is.
Well, the translation one really can't be correct unless you're translating a lot more crap. It's whatever. I prefer New World of Darkness's mechanics, but there's some things that I like about old World of Darkness.
But yeah,
Did
Metal
TeamSpeak die?
No, I can still hear you anyway. Maybe it's just voices in my head. But Metal Slime Hunt, yeah. The closest thing to the Path of Ayn Rand is actually the Road of the Merchant from the Vampire Medieval or Renaissance or whatever it was. And that's actually what Lydia Lorraine Habsburg, his sire, is.
Ladies and gentlemen, how do we kill a ghost?
We get it to commit suicide.
Yes, wait. Good plan. Needs more work.
Fuck you, that's all the work I'm going to give it.
You're fired.
No, I quit.
No, you're fired.
This is my 2-week notice.
No, this is your 1 minute notice. Get the fuck out. Well, Metal Slime Hunt, if this were Hunter the Vigil, you just gotta get some etheric rounds from Task Force Valkyrie, and then you just shoot them a few times, and then they're dead. What do you mean we're not playing Hunter the Vigil? What do you mean I'm actually not the most broken splat in the entire fucking game?
Actually, in New World of Darkness, it's fucking hard to get a ghost to stay dead. Normally you just discorporate them.
But
Or
hey,
to
discorporating them
stay non-existing, rather.
But hey, just incorporating in them is good enough for most people.
I mean, it definitely teaches the ghosts not to fuck with them anymore.
Well, you could torch the fetter, but sometimes that unleashes the ghost into the real world without nothing holding them back. Crazy shit.
Ghostbusters shit.
Yeah. Pretty much the only way to truly stop is mages or sin eaters. And yes, in New World of Darkness, you can drink the blood of ghosts if you have powers that let you.
It's not a power. It's that if you go into the underworld of the World of Darkness for an extended period of time...
I thought you could do it if you had blood tenebris.
No, you can't. That's about eating spirits.
I'm back.
Welcome back. We were talking about ways to kill a ghost.
Oh, okay.
And we settled on we're going to make the ghost commit suicide.
I see.
So, guys, start brainstorming on really sick burns to try to get the ghost to kill herself.
Well, I'm glad you guys were able to keep yourselves entertained while I was gone for longer than I thought it would be. Shall we continue?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we're all
Okay.
good.
Day passes eventfully, blah blah blah. Joseph finds himself disturbed every now and again, as does Marcus. Marcus, due to his own crazy shit that he hears and sees in his head. Joseph because, well, his church is haunted. And so is he. But he already knew that, because he's living there.
Because he's the one that did it.
Yep. In which case, eventually, night arrives, and around 10-ish p.m., the four of you kindred awaken, each missing a blood point in the process. Marcus, just for the sake of things, Jordan, Marcus will have this vague sense that, he partied so hard that he got hungry, but then it was perfectly fine because he then just drank and he got full again. No matter how hard he partied, man, the blood was always there for him.
So I start tonight with 9 blood points.
No, 10. Well, 9, really. Yeah, 9.
No, 10. You kept drinking in your sleep.
You're such an experienced drinker.
Listen, all I'm saying is that the party don't stop.
In which case you or individuals are welcome to do whatever you wish.
Marcus is gonna dial up Joseph.
Hello?
Yeah, anything new on the ghost front?
No, not really.
Okay. Need any help with anything?
No.
Alright, if you can think of anything that I can do for you, call me.
I will.
Call me.
I hope I got through Marcus's, find her name, goddammit. I hope that got through my voice.
I got it. Joseph's gonna
Great.
hang up and said, I think you fucked Marcus up pretty bad.
Well, I'm not the one who wanted to abandon someone else, especially after that someone else protected him while he was asleep.
Oh, no, I understand.
All I wanted was for him to have fun and perhaps appreciate my own hell.
Well, after Marcus is done with that phone call, he is going to Not party another night away. He did that last night. He is actually going to go down to the PS1 Contemporary Art Center and see if there's anything going on.
Feel free to fill the space, everyone else. It's okay.
Well, Byron goes off to class, and after that finishes, bored to tears, he'll probably show up at Astoria Estates and meet or wait on David.
And David's going to go hunting and then head to Astoria Estates to wait for Byron.
I think Joseph's gonna feed first thing in the morning.
Alright, David, give me a hunting roll. Joseph, give me a crazy roll. Everyone's a winner. Except for the person whose soul you ate, Joseph. Good job.
And the little girl who would enjoy it if he went bonkers.
Bonkers-er.
You get the sense that she would very much love if you just loosened up a little under the collar, man. And a sudden fear strikes Joseph at that moment of, what if she tries to fuck with you while you're attempting to feed in that crucial, vulnerable moment?
Well, he can't bite any harder. I guess the only thing he could do would be drain more.
The concept of Joseph attempting to bite harder, he realizes is an amusing concept.
That laughter's probably enough for him to shove the thought out of his head and pretend that it didn't come in. And hope that she doesn't do it, because that could be very bad.
Joseph, bite harder. Are you kidding me? Alright, in which case we end up with Marcus entering the PS1 Contemporary Art Center, and currently there is this, contemporary indie music event currently ongoing.
Contemporary alternative music. Not sure if want. Marcus will hang out for a little while, trying to tone out the music. Just see what the gossip is.
Gossip entirely focuses on, who among these new and upcoming artists is the best. And, how all tired and boring it is for the artists to sort of lose touch with reality and what really drives them. And, of course, how that first album is always the best album because you spend your entire lifetime writing it.
Glad to see the city hasn't gone to shit in like the week we've not really dealt anything with it. But yeah, Marcus
It's
will...
not really your responsibility to save the city, is it?
Marcus will hang out and gossip for a while. Maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and then head back to Astoria. Unless someone calls him.
Give me a self-control roll and difficulty 6, totally. That one girl's fat beats, man. They were trying to lure you in like a sucker. But no, you totally got it.
She's pretty good at what she does, but I'm not falling for it.
Nope, I'm not falling into this conversation, you sons of bitches degenerates. I'm not doing it.
I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for her ways. You know what I mean.
You say she's keeping true to herself, but is she really? Is she really?
Damn it! She is too legit to quit. Why?
But just to be certain, there's nothing going about. There's like no gossip about anything going on politically in the city.
Well, Marcus isn't exactly, on the sort of friendship level where, things just get blurted out randomly. So any sort of idle gossip or chatter he might meet with his vampire acquaintances would consist of things that degenerates care about, which is currently this.
Well, well, in that case, Marcus will converse with them about this.
Perhaps one of the failings of the clan right here.
Yes. Perhaps this is the reason why we're not, princes of more cities.
Bunch of people who just want to live in the moment, man. Like, Marcus certainly had that whenever he decided to get drunk and party last night.
These are probably a lot of people who don't necessarily see the Toreador clan weakness as a weakness, just an obvious appreciation of the finer things.
Exactly, and no matter who ends up taking control of the city, I mean, the Toreador is still going to be awesome, right? Unfortunately, we don't have any good candidates at this time. It's clearly going to be Carter. You wouldn't want that brutish cur Marlena to be prince, come on.
Yeah. Who would want that anarch light to be prince?
Exactly.
Anarch Light, good one. Ha 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 ha.
In which case, I believe we end up with David and Byron meeting at Astoria Estates.
Alright, Dave will probably have been waiting there for a while by the time Byron shows up.
Byron will come in the door muttering something under his breath, and he's going to see David sitting there and say, all right, this shift key, why is it used for everything?
Well, because it's used to kind of...
I don't know. Never mind. Anyhow, that class is just mind-numbing. I know how to turn on a computer now, though.
You didn't know how to turn one on.
Well, it was very confusing because I seem to remember years back there was a big red switch in the back, and the ones now just don't have them. And so I guess now you just press a button on the front. It was confusing for me.
And you say you do know how to operate a radio.
Byron is just gonna give him a blank stare, just like he's like, of course I know how to work a radio.
Right. Well, how about you lead me to this?
Hold on. Good thing
This
I have
bar,
brought this
then.
test radio with me right here, Byron.
Make this go before we go further, because I have to know how dumb you really are. So
Prove it to me. Access the internet on this short band radio.
I'm sure there's a radio somewhere in the office. Totally work.
Anyway, let's go to this bar. I'm sure there won't be any on buttons you have to learn in there.
Right. Anyway, my thoughts, and Byron will be talking as they're heading out, like to the subway or whatever, is that he'll be talking to nothing because I'm pretty sure you obfuscated. But so if you want to ignore everything Byron says, you can just leave. Because, oh no, he can see you now. He has Auspex 1. You can, unless you upped your obfuscate.
I have obfuscate too.
Can't see you. So
That's word for mobile stealth.
Okay.
Anyway, Dave's just going to kind of pull down his hat and turn up his collar. He shouldn't get too many looks as long as he doesn't draw attention.
That's true. But yeah, so my thoughts were that we'd go by there. I'll describe what he looks like, and he's usually just sitting at the bar alone. and just let me know if he's in there. If he's not there, we needn't really waste too much of our time waiting on him, I don't suppose.
All right, and the doors just kind of open, right?
Yeah, they're actual club doors. There are 2 bouncers standing on either side to prevent anyone from sneaking past in. But, I mean, for you, certainly. Go ahead and give me, David, a Perception plus Larceny at difficulty 6, for you would actually look out for these things. Yeah, seems like a, upper class, club, establishment, well-to-do. There is, a waiting line, and, of course, as tends to be the case, women are waved in, more often than not. You know, any guy who brings the ladies and is, tethered to them, I can certainly, win his way in as well. Very, upper-class, well-lit establishment, all around the entire way. And there are, of course, different ways of egress. There's your sort of like a loading dock area for, you know, for produce and other products that might be brought in for the kitchen, as well as the adult beverages you assume come flowing through this place as well. From what little David would know about this establishment as well, this place had been a speakeasy during the Prohibition era, set up by gangsters, organized crime, and has its numerous methods of egress, secret passages, sort of turntables, like things that you can turn on the walls, and I'm sure Byron might have mentioned some of those as well, like, oh my god, this place is so cool and amazing. And sluices and drains that would allow the alcohol to quickly, like, you could just flip a switch, the entire bar turns over, all of the alcohol goes down into the drain. The doors themselves actually end up having that sort of slit that a gentleman would pull open to peer outside at whoever would be pounding on the door.
David's actually probably going to find the history of the place and those little pieces actually very interesting.
Byron will have more than enough story for him to occupy the entire subway, if you ask, because he was there talking about it that whole night when Joseph was shadowing him that time.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Byron's saying, yeah, it was really awesome. That's actually what got me thinking that there might be a false wall or something in the Majestic.
Huh. You know, that's a little bit more savvy than I usually take you for, Byron. Not trying to compliment.
Well, Byron will take it in stride, and he will smile self-deprecatingly and say, well, you know, even a broken clock 2 times a day, right?
Alright, so I'm going to stroll in, see if he's in there, stroll back out. Yeah.
Okay. David Green manages to make his way onto the scene, and sure enough, this is an upper-class sort of club area with people sort of giggling, and but David can sort of see it. How if you just turn the coat rack just a little bit this way, then this panel on the wall slides down, revealing a sort of turning passage into the basement. And of course, since David is an astute enough observer that he wants to go, you know, just poking around a bit, and certainly the speakeasy itself, well, rather the basement storage where all the alcohol that was kept, was hidden by a trap latch that actually ended up opening a panel of brick. What seemed to be normal solid brick, it actually turned it to reveal the storage room for all the alcohol beyond. Again, with a sort of switch there at the barkeep, which you assume has been disabled, so no asshat could just run up and press the switch and all the alcohol vanishes. All the bar cases go sliding down, and he can see sort of the gutters there. Well, not gutters, but the sort of the divots, the slight downward decline that would allow all the alcohol and the glass and what have you to sluice out of the drain and down into what David would assume is the sewer. Going off what basic information that David knows, the description of Edward as described to him by... Sorry. That was a curious moment. As described to him by Byron, David does think he ends up seeing Edward talking at the bar to an individual he, oh goodness, he thinks he's seen before. Some sort of prissy financial asshat. He's got blue hair, blonde eyes, a little pale, wearing an upper class suit.
Blue hair and blonde eyes?
Blue hair and blonde
It's World of Darkness. I was going with it. I thought it was pretty awesome.
No. Let's try that again. Oh.
I was like, that's a pretty unorthodox hair color for someone working in finance.
See, I'm having a Byron Rand day. Can't keep anything straight in my head. Oh, man. Blonde hair, blue eyes, a little light of color, perhaps a little bit pale, with, well, it could just be an effect of the lighting beaming down on him. They're, currently in some, deep, conversation, sort of secluded on one edge of the bar. Not even the bartender, who, Byron may have made mention of as well, the sort of, not exactly an opposing character, friendly, affable enough, trained professional. Not even he's standing by them. They're currently deep conversation. The guy that's with Edward, oh, David swears he thinks he has, but then again, all these fucking asshats look the same. Just give me a straight up intelligence roll. Nah, David can't place it. David thinks he's seen him before. He just can't remember where.
Alright, well then David's going to slip on out.
Alright.
He'll go up to where Byron is waiting. Uninvisiblify, technical term. And say, yeah, I mean, based on the description you gave me, he's definitely in there talking to Wall Street looking guy. Blonde, blue eyes, kind of pale looking. Ringing bells?
You just described half the people on Wall Street almost.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, you mentioned pale skin. I mean, how pale. Because this guy seemed to know about the awe ability I had.
Grimith, how pale are we talking here?
Could have been a vampire. Didn't look like he had anything to eat or drink in front of him.
I mean, he could have been kindred. I don't know. Might be you were trying to poach someone else's ghoul.
Yes, that's a possibility. Well, we have several ways to go, I guess. I think we need to get to the bottom of it, though. The best bet, I suppose, would be if you watch the back and I watch the front and see if he comes out. And if he comes out the front, I will direct him towards I'll be able to stop him and walk him by you through the back alley, I guess. Or if he comes your direction, I guess follow him to where he is and then give me a call.
All right. This kind of shady stuff is up my alley, but I figured you'd want to just go in there and introduce yourself. I mean, that's what you did with Valentine, right?
I got nothing, sorry. Just press down control for no reason.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I could do that.
I mean, if they turn out to be one of us, you can just explain yourself, and if they don't, at worst, you just might spook the guy a little bit more. I know that I'd be pretty upset if someone tried to poach at my stuff.
Right. Yeah. My thought was that we would once he came out alone or with the guy, he might actually travel out with the guy. We could approach them there, or I could approach them there. But a public setting might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, I know that I'm not terribly afraid of meeting another kindred in a back alley, but it's definitely riskier than just talking in person.
Yeah, you got a point. Well, I guess if you wouldn't mind going back in and making sure they don't leave before I get in, because I might have a little bit of a wait in line before I'm allowed in. That would be great.
Sure, and I'll follow them if they leave.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
And then David's going to try and slip in and find some sort of much neglected corner.
And Byron will blush up and wait to get in.
Go ahead and give me a dexterity plus stealth at difficulty 4, David, just to denote the general sort of sneaking in that you would attempt to do. It's not very well guarded, and David's pretty sure that he should be able to get in there just fine, but difficulty 4, dexterity plus stealth. Not a budge!
David Green, everyone.
So what does Byron see from the back of the line?
There's a curious sort of moment as David Green ends up maybe tripping up a bit of the high-class rug, scuffing his shoe across the door frame, and rather than, a soft sort of like gentle opening of, him easing his way into the club, what ends up happening is tripping the process, the door just goes and everyone who's standing outside gives a curious look at it. The illusion of obfuscate doesn't end up getting broken, but only just, as it seems everyone is able to write it off with just a gust of wind managed to, push the door back, and they automatically make excuses in their heads for it.
Yeah, and for Byron's part, he'll say something like, "Man, maybe they put in a new trick door or something."
Sort of explanations like what Byron said and stuff like that. Yeah, just a really curious moment that David manages to quickly regain his composure and slip, out of sight from people outside. It caused a little bit of, like one or two people might have looked at the door inside too, but the obfuscate power ends up tricking their heads. In the active club full of adult beverages and adult entertainment, David can continue to see Edward conversing with the sort of seems like he'd recognize him. Just can't fucking place him.
Well, he'll keep watch, just like he said he would for Byron.
Go ahead and give me a self-control roll at difficulty 5, Krypsyn. Just to sort of, fucking lines, I can't believe I'm doing this, no one knows how important I am, this is bullshit, fucking writing a line, I'm not a human anymore, what the hell? Alright.
What was the difficulty?
Alright,
I
five.
failed.
Five.
Oh, five. So I got it. I thought it was
Yep.
6.
Yep. Nah, he can handle it. Just a fucking line. Going to a high-class club. He's got other matters on his mind. It allows him time to further plan out the shit.
Like the shift key. Understands. Uh, you know, some of them, but I mean, man, couldn't you just make a separate button for all of these things?
Alright. Ends up taking, 40 minutes. During which time, David is able to keep an eye on and monitor traffic happening in the well-to-do establishment. Doesn't seem like that many people end up leaving. Then the club where it's going down, fool. As I said, the primary traffic ends up being those of the female persuasion. All the same, enough time does end up passing that Byron Rand himself is able to make his suave, smooth way into the club. Gentleman's Club, yeah. This high-quality establishment. Used to be a speakeasy ever so long ago.
With that, Byron will, try not to draw too much attention from Edward or the person that he's with, but he's going to try to get a good look at him, and he'll turn up the hearing aspects again and see if he can hear anything of what they're talking about.
Byron might wish to change his plans of action. Unlike with David, Byron actually knows who this individual is that Edward is talking to. Might not have shared more than like a sentence or two with him, but Byron knows that A, his name is Gavin Andrews, B, he has a domain here in Lower Manhattan, C, he's a member of the Ventrue clan.
Aha. All right, well then, yeah, Byron just walked right up, and he will stare at Edward, and he will nod politely at Gavin, as I suppose he'll turn.
Yes, Edward has seemed to be much calmer and much cooler, even while looking at the Byron in the presence of perhaps Gavin. And Gavin, for his part, is insouciant, with sort of like this ambivalent air of nonchalance. Hello there. Byron, was it?
Yes. It seems we have a mutual acquaintance. How do you two know each other?
Gavin lifts a brow. What? Do I end up going, up to you whenever you're talking with someone you know and ask, what business you know? He shakes his head. So impolite, but I would imagine, Euro trash like yourself couldn't muster anything more.
Byron will just raise an eyebrow at Gavin.
He just fucking insulted you.
There is likely to be a breach of the Masquerade soon.
Bam! Go ahead and, give me a... Give me a self-control roll at difficulty 4. It really wasn't that much of an insult. It was pretty dumb. Yeah. Like, Gavin probably could have tried harder. It was rude. Fuck me out, man.
Well, the whole thing, though, I mean, Byron is just not even going to care. I mean, that's the whole thing. He'll raise an eyebrow, but he's kind of above it. I mean, he'll kind of scoff at the entire attempt to insult him. And, you know, Byron just doesn't have time for it, really. Because Byron knows that Gavin's got to know that he's been moving up in the city. I mean, you know, he's technically still friends with Theo Bell, unless Theo Bell's been going around saying how much he hates the coterie. Who knows?
Gavin remains unamused. Why don't you go back to, Astoria and play with your little house of cards, yes? He offers an unfriendly smile.
No, not just yet. I do think that we have a little business that we need to clear up. If you wouldn't mind horribly much the imposition. And there will be a little edge.
Gavin looks at Edward, back to Byron. No, I don't think there's any business which we need to sort of clarify. Especially not with how you chose to come up to this wonderful conversation we're having and rather intrude yourself like a sore. Who taught you your manners?
Oh, I reserve my manners for people I give a shit about.
And so uncouth as well, but really, I had no expectations on the matter.
Honestly, I was just trying to come speak to you as a courtesy, but it seems like you do not wish it. I did not want to waste your time, so I figured I would come up here and get it over with quickly. However, you have, in your pedantic way, tried to draw out my ire. I don't know why.
I was really hoping you would not be so dense and rather just dismiss thyself. An unmirthful chuckle. Edward, for his part, looks very confident and composed by Gavin's side.
Yeah, Byron, see, this is why Byron did not want to come and wanted to deal with it on the street. Because on the street, should be going down, but he can't do anything here. And of course, the other guy knows it.
No. Where you guys are, you're sort of officially in the sort of tweener domain-esque thing too. You're not quite within any sort of a official domain here. At least not one that you know of.
Right. No, I actually am totally at a loss of what to do here, honestly. Byron, I think, would know what to do. He has dealt with all of these. Yeah, no, break his face is not what Byron would be doing. But Byron is well acquainted with this type of social maneuvering. I just don't know the right thing to say here. I think Byron would know. So let me do he's got wits with witty bon mots. So with, I don't know, he's got expression 3. So he should be able to pull something off.
Is Byron attempting to like deliver like some sort of rebuke or retort? Like, well, you
Just a
face is dumb.
sick comeback.
Pretty much. I mean, just something like, you know, he's referred to him as zero trash, and I was sitting there racking my brain on some kind of return insult about, yes, when we care about the colonies, we'll get back to you.
No. Do something about him being a redneck.
But in that case, let's go ahead and have this then, since in this situation that perhaps Krypsyn can't quite think of something, we'll have a resisted wits plus expression at difficulty 6, and whoever rolls the highest ends up having this the most badass, you know, sort of playful play on words in this repartee.
And I am going to say that, I never can remember the name of it, but the eloquent voice or enchanted, whatever it is.
It's
enchanting
voice.
Enchanting voice. He also has, like I said, witty bon mots, so the 10 is double. So one of those canceled out by the 1.
I mean, if we want to do enchanting voice, it would end up canceling out, so don't even factor that in. He has an enchanting voice as well.
All right, gotcha. Well, I very well may have lost, because I rolled 3 very low.
Yeah, well, you have witty bon mots.
Yep,
I'm
Byron
assuming, does Gavin have some specialty in wits?
No, he doesn't. 1, 2, 3, with one of the successes from the 10 being cancelled, that's 4. He rolled a 4 as well. So, in that case, Byron and Gavin end up engaging in this sort of mutually equal, sort of like a repartee that starts off, you know, veiled enough, and continues to remain veiled over the course of it. However, matching their wits against one another, it's sort of like one of those business compromises where it leaves neither of them satisfied.
Right.
And onlookers and listeners can just sort of like, you know, neither of them's gaining the upper hand. It's kind of like, what the hell? Is this what Ventrue do in their spare time?
If any of these people are thinking that, I want to know who they are.
Well, David Green. If only you could see him.
His face is in his palm.
Yes, instead of fisticuffs, this is witsy cuffs. And this can go on for like an entire, you know, sort of minutes. This just long, drawn-out phase of references to, you know, how successful or not successful one individual may be, person's origin and their manner of speaking, their dalliances and associations with other individuals. The fact of the matter is that no one wins. Which leaves Gavin's brows furrowed at the Eurotrash.
Just string it out for as long as possible to frustrate him.
Oh yeah, that's what Byron is definitely going to do, because he's irritated now, and so I mean, it's just all he wanted is just a straight up or down. Is this person your ghoul or not? You know, a subtle up or down. That's all he wanted, and he would have laid off. It was not a personal thing. He would have respected it. But now Byron is twerp. So yeah, he will definitely continue it on.
Edward definitely looks awkward. bartender continues to stay away from the trio, and it seems that the little group here has managed to claim themselves a bit of distance in the club, all things considered, as people are sort of edging away from the scathing biting, sort of thinly concealed remarks, with both of them having enough self-control to keep their cool in the situation, and with no clear winner. Just sort of like...
Right. And so what I will do at that time is, I'll look over at, no, I've forgotten his name, Gavin. Say, well, Gavin, it's been such a delight. Edward, I'll be seeing you later. And then I'll walk off.
Gavin lifts a brow and says, "Perhaps I shall pay a visit to, ooh, what was that tot's name? Eve. Madeline...
And with that, Byron will turn around and put on the phoniest and biggest smile. I mean, an obvious phony smile. Say, finally it comes out. That is really all I wanted to know from you. Don't worry.
Gavin shrugs. Why didn't you just ask in the first place? Oh, right. One such as you could never make a task easy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that's the first thing I asked, is how you knew each other.
Yes, that's the first thing you asked. How we knew each other, rather than in attempting to gauge at any sort of common courtesy. Which, I suppose, would elude one as daft as you. Do we need to roll again?
Yeah, we gotta roll again.
Back to the dice.
Oh my
Yeah, I mean-
god, and David is just sitting there through all of that, in case one of them frenzies and needs to be taken down.
Ooh. With two
Yeah, I
successes
did
versus 4, looks like Byron finds himself at the losing end of this. It's not enough to make him frenzy, unless Byron wants to legitimately frenzy. I don't think he does. It's just enough where, this established in Chile, it's possible that he might have more experience in dealing with such affairs, or maybe he's just lucky. Maybe Byron's been put on tilt ever since last night whenever Edward actually resisted the effects of awe. It's difficult to say. Whatever the case, Byron finds himself running more and more out of words after another 6-7 minutes. And Gavin is certainly astute enough to recognize the fact that Byron has run out of steam.
Yeah, with the last one, Gavin is probably going to kind of get his goat a little bit, and so Byron will probably blurt out something that's really stupid, like, at least I'm not a fucking redneck from the colonies, and then he's just gonna turn his back and walk off. Or it's just something just entirely lame.
There is a polite, laugh, but a very rich one, as Byron turns his back and walks out.
Alright, well, David will follow him until they're somewhere safe to talk.
Yeah, unless you say something, Byron is just, he's pissed, and he's just walking off and just shaking his head,
Well,
cussing under his breath.
as soon as we're somewhere out of the public eye, he'll go visible and say, "So we're going to kick his ass, right?"
Byron is going to stop dead, and he's going to say, That's an option?
He just insulted you dramatically on neutral territory. We're going to teach him not to mess with our coterie, right?
Byron,
It's not acceptable for people to open up to us with disrespect as the starting move. Am I wrong?
Byron is just going to stare blank, and a corner of his mouth is going to rise a little bit. He's going to say, yes. Yes, I think that is exactly what we're going to be doing.
And I'm fairly certain that we're more powerful than him. Or else he'd be, more notorious by this point.
Yeah, out of character, I was looking at this. It's just interesting. The range in the book for storytellers to put in Chile at, I think off the top of my head, it's like 75 to 225 points. And we all are close to 60 at this point. So we're almost the bottom rung in terms of power.
Not even to take into account the generations of the two of our characters.
Right.
I'm gonna let you finish, but White Wolf.
Well, there goes that.
Drop the mic. I'm out.
Bracken, Byron is the most familiar. What he knows of Gavin is that he is a long established in Chile who actually, he thinks that actually Gavin is one of the children of Prince Michaela, and so he has been here since the 30s, the 40s, back whenever New York City was under Sabbat control. And he has lived here ever since. If, to say, any Byron would certainly not dare underestimate any Ventrue. In regards like allies, it's entirely possible that he's still well connected with the rest of Prince Michaela's children, which would encompass pretty much the entirety of that Wall Street domain. Perhaps a few other faces of those down there. You've got Irwin's, and you've got Gabrielle's.
Gotcha.
So probably about a half dozen of Prince Michaela's children are left, the rest of them having moved out or having been pushed out by other incoming Ventrue who moved in, or having been killed, or whatever else happened to them. Byron doesn't exactly know. Not like he keeps track with the clan, the family.
Right. Well, then Byron will mention this and say, yeah, as much as it would please me, and I think perhaps we might have a good chance of taking him, especially together. I think he is a child of Michaela, and he has connections in this city. So, sure, I bring you as my friend, and then he brings his whole friend, and then it becomes a whole Ventrue scuffle, which I don't know if any Nosferatu wants to be involved with, and I know I don't personally.
Ah, fuck. I just wanted to kick his ass and humiliate him a little.
Yeah, me too. Sadly, I think he gets to win this one, and I am definitely.
So now we have to fucking live with our coterie's Ventrue having been humiliated in public again. Damn it.
Oh shit!
Haven't seen it.
Humiliated is a strong word, but yes, it's not going to be a glowing recommendation for me. Worst part about it is that the only reason it came up is, and by the way, I'll say this, if I had known exactly who he was at the very beginning, if you told me, I probably would have gone about it a little differently. I thought he was just some random dude, not a well-connected guy, but...
It's not perhaps something that Byron thought of at the time.
Nah,
Just
Fair
the
enough.
fact that he recognized him and, like, maybe he's still a little upset about trying to learn how computers work and everything.
Right. Anyway, it's no big deal. The
I'm certainly not telling you that you can't do anything. I'm not saying, like, nope, you can't try to do anything against him. It's just that, as with any sort of Chile who's actually strong enough to have a domain here in Manhattan, they all have power of their own. Just as you guys undoubtedly have power by controlling an entire neighborhood in Queens. Not that far from Manhattan.
Right. No, Byron definitely sees this. And he does not, at this point, he's not going to do anything overtly against him. That's not what Ventrue do anyway. They kind of bide their time and wait.
It's possible that, given his, established rank, as opposed to, it's not like Byron advertises his generation. He might have been doing what Ventrue like to do to each other and pull rank based on, recognized sire and pedigree and what have you.
Right.
And Byron's like, fuck you.
Well, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say the reason he lost that, I'll just role play it, is it probably got back to sires. Say, well, my sire was Michaela. Who is yours? And, well, Byron can't talk about that. What is he going to say? Oh, yeah, it's a autarch from Lydia Habsburg Lorraine. Maybe you've heard of her. If he has bad news, and if he hasn't, he'll laugh. So there's no win. Byron can't bring that up.
Yeah, clearly Byron is the 13th generation child of some nameless Eurotrash vampire.
That is the impression he probably gave. I'm just going to say maybe not 13th generation, but whatever Michaela was plus 3, because 2 under this guy, he's just going to make up. So. But yeah,
all right, fine. So we don't act against him now, but he's officially on our shit list, right?
Oh yeah.
And Byron has no idea what generation Prince Michaela would have been, but given how powerful she had been and what she was able to organize here in Manhattan, it's possible that she might have been, elder class, which would put any of her children, say for example like Helen Panhard, sort of below that rank there. And as such, Byron might be able to understand in some portion of his head why Helen would have been such a bitch. Sort of the entitlement and pedigree granted to her by her sire. Even though Byron may actually be of a stronger bloodline, he's not exactly waving that around, while every other Ventrue will do that to every other Ventrue.
Right, and the clear implication, if you don't do that as a Ventrue, is that you've got a shitty sire. And while perhaps they're right in Byron's case, it's all for the wrong reasons.
Byron would also know, seeing as how this sort of this topic's like really come to him first time, there are Ventrue who, every Ventrue takes it a different way. Valentine, for example, he's European as well, from his manner and flirtation. You'd probably say he comes from France. And it's not like he fucking wags his sire around, Some Ventrue just handle it differently. And in the case of all of Prince Michaela's children, they fucking feel entitled, since they were born into Manhattan before they, before the Camarilla took over. And as such, they are a lot more lordy than Ventrue would end up being. Like entitled children.
So neither Byron nor David's going to do anything?
Was it actually publicly known what generation Michaela was?
No vampire would want their generation to be publicly known, unless you're like a Methuselah, in which case you don't fucking care.
Well, there are situations where, like, certain vampires will have their lineage clearly on display.
And Ventrue are, among the clans, the most likely to do that, but that wouldn't be, for anyone who's, like, alive. Like, for the other player characters, like, the only person they could think of who actually did that to their faces was Sevalon Cerveni. It's It tends not to be something that's advertised on an every kindred know scale. As far as
Alright,
public
well,
knowledge would be, Prince Michaela was an elder, as was Prince Calibros.